What's up, everybody? Y'all know what it is. Sean Way Church Music and Tech, and I'm coming to you with an off-schedule episode because we got some news. They done up and did it. They done up and did it. They done up and did it, man. They done up and did it. Let's go. So if you follow me on social media, you know what we're going to talk about. Apparently last week, Roland had a private event to where they were to release new gear. Now, if you know me, you know, number one, I'm a Roland head, have been since the beginning. So you can imagine my surprise when I go through my morning routine, sit down at my desk, ready to work for the day, pull up YouTube just to see what's going down. And they have a video up there with Scott Tibbs, the Roland rep, playing a keyboard that I had never seen. It had a red back with black trim, had a bunch of knobs, a bunch of faders, a big touchscreen display. He's playing it and some sounds are familiar, some sounds aren't familiar. The functionality is completely gone. Like, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know what I'm watching. I don't know what I'm hearing. Come to find out, Roland has released 3 new boards. To my excitement, one of those was the Fantom. Now the crazy part about it is I was joking with the friend. Well, I really wasn't joking. I was actually giving my wish list. And I was saying what Roland needs to do is take the RD, shrink it down, and add the functionality of a workstation into it and make it a new Fantom. And they did it. As if they heard me. Are you listening? Are you listening? I think they hear me now. So, come to find out, last week, Roland had a secret event, a private event, invitation only. They had people come out to test new gear. Come to find out at this event, that's where they released the 3 new boards. So the one that we're talking about today is the Roland Fantom. Y'all know I love Roland Fantom. Y'all know my history with the Roland Fantom. So this is what the Roland Fantom is said to include. Now listen carefully and closely. The new board includes confirmed an Ableton Live style sequencer. Kind of Ableton Live-ish, kind of GarageBand, iOS-ish. It kind of has the look and feel of both. It has a step sequencer. It has 8 stackable sounds with faders, and you can make those internal sounds or external sounds. May sound familiar because it's the same functionality as the RD2000. You have multi-pad functionality. You have multi-assignable knobs, a pitch wheel and a modulation wheel, and then a joystick with the pitch bend and the modulation on the joystick. You have 8 outputs, including 2 analog filter outputs, and also including 2 XLR stereo outputs. You have 4 CV outputs, control voltage outputs for synthesizers. If you don't know what it is, Google it. It's crazy. You have 3 USB external control outs. You have USB to computer, a USB memory slot. You got 4 pedal slots, including a sustain pedal. You have the traditional MIDI in, out, and through, which includes the out. It's a secondary out. Kind of a rolling thing, killing the game with it. I love it. Use it all the time. Then you have the headphone out. You have over 3,500 sounds. You have 90 drum kits. You have 128 scenes with 4 banks of scenes. You have 90 effects, a 16-part EQ. It's crazy. This is the big part about it. And I have a question for Roland, and I hope Roland sees this video and answers my question. So they boast of 2 sound engines. One is the ZenCore technology. Now, I just found out today that ZenCore technology is referring to their analog setup. It's a new type of technology that they just started putting in these boards this year, I believe, beginning with these boards that they just released. They also have V-piano technology. Now, you know the question that I'm going to ask. The question I'm going to ask is, what's the polyphony? How many notes can I play at the same time? If I'm doing a hold, when am I going to run out of notes? Now, if you know anything about the V-piano technology, the V-piano technology in the RD2000 has unlimited polyphony. So if they have V-piano technology in this keyboard, it's game over. Like, you can play anything, you can stack all the sounds. You're not gonna run out of sound space. You're not gonna run out of keys. It's gonna be crazy. You just gotta do it strategically, of course, but crazy. So I don't know if it has unlimited polyphony. I'm making that assumption off of the specs that were given. So Roland, holla at your boy. Let me know if y'all got unlimited polyphony. If y'all got unlimited polyphony, I might need one of these boards. I'm just saying, I need one anyway because it's a Fantom and I love Fantoms. I love them. So, which brings me to my next points. A lot of people have concerns, questions, comments. They've turned it into a contest. Not really a contest on my part, because it goes like this. If the board has what you use it for, the board is for you. If it has more than what you use it for, the board is not for you. Simple as that. Question number one that I keep on saying, why does it cost so much? So you got the 61 that costs $3,300. You got the 76 that costs $3,600. You have 88 that costs $39.99, $4,000. Why does it cost so much? Well, if you think about it, look at cars. Cars don't cost the same as they cost 20 years ago. They don't cost the same that they cost 10 years ago. They don't cost the same that they cost 5 years ago. They cost a lot more. And that's because they have more features, they have more functionality. It's set up to make you money. So my counter question to you is, what are you using it for? If you bought a car, the practical assumption is that you're buying a car to get you to places that are going to make you money to pay for that car. If not, why buy the car? The same should be for musical instruments. I'll get into that in one of my episodes called The Rules for Buying Gear. Next concern, it looks like a montage. So what? It looks like a montage. It really does look like a montage, but do I buy keyboards for the way that they look or for the functionality that they have? Like I said, the Roland Fantom G came out in 2008 and it's been killing the game ever since. They haven't updated it since, so now they've updated it. And if you look back in the history of the board, the last board that they've had, this Fantom G right here, this one right here, it has 24 channels of audio. It has 16 channels of internal sequencing. It has 16 channels of external sequencing, which means that you can connect a MIDI device like this Integra 7 here up to your Roland Fantom, and it'll track from all 16 channels of the Fantom, not losing polyphony because it's different channels, and you can still use the 16 channels that are in here. And you can add 24 audio tracks on top of that. That's just one of the features of that board as applies to tracking. You have a multiplicity of sounds. You have a multiplicity of different other functionality. Of course, the pad functionality, I've talked about that. You can do a lot with the pads. You can use the 8 faders to actually control 8 voices, turn them up and turn them down. Unlike other boards that came out around 2008. Again, it's not a contest, so you know, it's just what it is. So yeah, it looks like the montage, but I don't buy boards for the way that they look. I buy them for the functionality. It looks like the Nord from the back. No, it does not look like the Nord from, why? Because it's red? It looks like the Nord because it's red? No. These are real conversations that I've had. If you look at the back panel of that keyboard on the Nord, you don't have half of that. On this Nord right here, y'all can't see this out of frame, but on the Nord, electro, and I'll give you the electro because that's the one that I own. That's the one I can talk about. They're two completely different boards. They are two completely different boards. The Nord has an audio in. It has, of course, the 2-out stereo out. Has an audio in, which is a 1A. It has a sustained MIDI in, out, no MIDI through. It has MIDI out to computer. It doesn't have MIDI in. It has the rotor switch port. It has the control pedal port, and that's it. But they're two completely different boards used for two completely different things. The Nord is not a workstation. The Nord is a performance board, what a lot of people would call stage pianos. Even the electro, it's not a workstation at all. The next concern that I'm hearing, I can do with software what the Fantom is saying it can do. You probably can. The thing about it is like I said, if the board appeals to something that you already utilize keyboards for, then the board is for you. If it takes you outside of what you utilize keyboards for, it's not for you. If you're a person who likes software, who prefers software, that's what's up. That's your lane. That's not my lane. I like software, but between the two, I'm gonna side with the hardware, because at the end of the day, software gets convoluted when there are Mac OS updates. And I'm saying Mac OS updates because I can't speak on Windows. I don't use Windows computers at all. But software gets convoluted when there are Mac OS updates, and you have to make a decision whether you're gonna update your Mac or whether you're gonna stay behind and keep your old software, or whether you're gonna pay hundreds and thousands of dollars to update all of your plugins that require you to update them with the new operating system. It's crazy. And the only one that really gets updated with no fuss is Logic. If I'm wrong, holler at me in the comments. The last concern that I keep on hearing people talk about, it doesn't seem to be anything special about this board or the Fantom G. So my question to you is, how many have used the Fantom G or even this board? I haven't used the board yet, but I'm just going off the specs and my familiarity of the Fantom G, because I know it'll translate. but how many have used the Fantom G for longer than a service or a session? How many have sat down and programmed with this board? How many have dug into this board to find out, how do I change this sound? Well, I heard this sound and I saw a Fantom, so I want to know where this sound is. I don't generally speak on boards that I have no history with. The Yamaha ES, I play at church every Sunday, and I speak on the Yamaha Motif XS because I played on one of those at church for years. I don't speak on the montage because I don't own the montage and I don't have history with the montage. So I can't speak. So my advice to you in that regard is take your boards, take the boards that you have or even the boards that you have at church. Sit down on those boards. Get acquainted with programming, get acquainted with the keyboard parameters, starting out with the ADSR, which is attack, decay, sustain, and release. You got to know what those are. I'll talk about those in another episode, but get acquainted with the keyboard that you own so that if you have to change something on the fly, then you'll know exactly where to go. That's not going to happen until you sit down with the keyboard outside of a pressured situation like a service or a concert or even a rehearsal. Take time out, sit down on the board, even pull out the owner's manual or download the owner's manual. These, you can download it to your phone, pull up YouTube, find videos that talk about these boards. That's what I do. That's why I know as much as I do about the Nord. That's why I know as much as I do about the Fantom, because I was watching Ed Diaz videos when I first got this Fantom. Shout out to Ed Diaz. Thank you, brother. Familiarize yourself with standard workstation workflow, and that'll make it easier to learn other keyboards. I promise you. And that don't matter what brand keyboard that you have. If you got a Yamaha Motif, go on and learn it so that when you get to a Fantom, you'll know exactly what you're looking for. You may not know where to look, but you'll know what you're looking for, and that'll get you closer to where you want to be. Introduce yourself to true sound design, not sound tweaking, but sound design. Making a sound from nothing, making a keyboard sound, a usable sound from nothing. You can do that with this right here, this Moog Sub 37 right here. You can do that with that. At the end of the day, outside of the destruction of property, there's no right and wrong way to learn the functionality of a keyboard. Also, the functionality of one keyboard doesn't diminish the value of another keyboard. It's just different. Apples and oranges, BMW and Mercedes, tomato, tomato. It's just different. I.e., you do what you do how you do it. My purpose is to educate people on the possibilities of these instruments, these tools, so that they can maximize their possibilities. So I'll leave y'all with this. Marques Brownlee, aka MKBHD, ooh, that was a lot. He said something when he was talking about Apple products. He was actually talking about, I want to say it was the Mac Pro. And he was saying that no piece of gear can make you more creative. I had to think about it for a minute, and at first glance, I disagreed. I'm like, nah, because when I got this, I started working like this, and when I got that, I started working like that. But if you really think about it, the statement is true out of you. A piece of gear may inspire creativity, but it only inspires and brings forth what was originally planted inside it. These things are tools, and if they're fully understood, the possibilities are endless. You already know what it is. Sean Wade, Church Music and Tech. I'm out. We got a Fantom, y'all, and a Jupiter. Boom.